And I think we are live. Yeah, welcome everybody. I'm just gonna give maybe like 1 or 2 more minutes for a few more people to join, and then I would give a quick introduction, and then we can get started. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Long time no see.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna wait for like maybe 1 more minute or like a few more seconds for a few more people to join in and to admit some people, and then we can get going. We are already live, by the way. We're live streaming to YouTube. So just to keep that in mind, if you are having the camera on, and if you do not want to be recorded, then better put that out. But as you want.
That's good to know. So I do not say anything that is inappropriate.
Exactly. Otherwise, we get problems with YouTube. All right. I think we are good to start. So a few more people are coming in. I'm just going to admit people as they're coming in. Welcome everybody to today's PyLadies workshop. I first want to give a welcome to all the newcomers. I think we have actually a lot of new faces today, and yeah, welcome to all the newcomers. And in case you are not familiar with the PyLadies, in case you are new, PyLadies is, or like PyLadies Amsterdam, are specifically the Amsterdam chapter of the global PyLadies community. We are affiliated with the Python Foundation and basically a global community to give a voice to underrepresented groups in tech and in Python specifically. That includes women, of course, but also non-binary people, trans people, and other underrepresented groups. And yeah, despite that, of course, everybody is welcome. That's a question that we get occasionally, but like, you are welcome from whatever background you are. And yeah, we focus on very actionable and very educational content that ideally people can take something away from and apply in their job tomorrow. By practitioners, for practitioners is what we say. And yeah, I hope you can all learn something nice today from building with coding agents. It's of course a very hot topic currently, a very popular topic. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all find it educational. If you have questions, please drop them either in the chat or like on the YouTube chat if you're watching on YouTube, or here in the Zoom chat if you're watching on Zoom. Feel also free to raise your hand if you would like to voice your question yourself. Otherwise, I will read it out for you. Yeah, but then I think that's it. If nobody has any other questions, then I think we can get going. And I give you the floor, Felicity.
Thanks, Julia, for the introduction. Shall I just start now?
Yes. Feel free to also introduce yourself real quick, but then we can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Sounds good. So now I'm starting sharing the slides. So hi, everyone. So today, as you can see, this workshop is about building with the coding agent. And a quick introduction about myself. My name is Felicity. I'm a data scientist, and I'm focusing on applied machine learning and MLOps. So I build automatic workflows, agentic AI, and also pipelines for like a data pipelines, machine learning pipelines. And my route to coding agent, so I have building a couple of like projects using like web coding, and also I have been to many hackathons like to use coding agents to build solutions in a quick way. And tonight I will also guide all of you here like to explore like how to use code agent. So basically, you will become the director of the agent and to conduct those agents to code and build solutions for you. Let's have a general look. So what is the coding agent? So I believe most of people here have been used like a AI tool. For example, like let's say Cloud, ChatGPT, Gemini. Those are very typical coding tools. And beyond this, actually, there are also tools called coding agent. So what's the difference between chat AI and the coding agent? So chat AI is to give you the interface that you can ask questions and ask it to explain concepts or even search web pages and to find the latest information for you. And what is coding agent? Coding agent is something that is installed on your laptop, on your system, and it has the powers to read the files and to read what's the content on your files and run comments on your terminal. Even it can editing files and write codings, run applications for you. So in one word, the code agent can access to the files on your system and editing files and build solutions for you. And in one word, you are the person who designed the architecture of the solution, and the agent is the contractor. So you will assign the task, assign the goals for the agent, and it will help you build the solution. And here are some points I'd like to mention about using coding agent. So it's something about how we give the right prompt. So firstly, when you give the prompt about the project, set up a goal to describe what is the context. So what are you building, and you are building for whom? It's like the background information, like introduction about what you're gonna build, and also you can talk, like give a list of requirements, like designing points, what you want to have, and the things you want to have, how it will be like. So in today's workshop, you will be building a dashboard in Python using Streamlit. So in this case, the requirements can be, okay, what kind of graphics you want to display, and what kind of KPI data information you want to display. So what the solutions will be like, what are the solutions you want to include. So these are things you can include in your prompt. And also one important thing is to describe the constraints. So what things agent cannot do. For example, you don't want the agent to edit in the raw data because it's something you want to keep the same. Or it's something you don't want the agent editing files outside the specific folders. Or maybe you have some like a confidential information somewhere, you wanted to protect it, so the agent will not be editing, or you will not be able to read it. So those kind of constraints also can be set up. And also, one last point is also very important. It's called checkpoint. It's like before the agent starting building something or starting write coding for you, you can always ask agent to show you the plan, to say, okay, what it plans to build, which files it will editing, and what action points it will take. So by reviewing the plan, you will be able to say, is that matched with what you designed, or are there any things you want to change? So before building any real things, reviewing the plan give you the chance to decide what the results will be like and what should not be there. So what you will build tonight? So the dataset is already there. So if you go to the GitHub Repo, you will be able to clone the repos, and also there is a folder specifically for the datasets. And I think I can also share the repo to the chat. And then the tools tonight, basically you can use any coding agent tonight. So if you have like a cloud subscription, you can feel free to use Cloud Code if it's installed. And also there are also free options like a Gemini CLL. So as long as you have a Google account, you will have the access to the Gemini CLI.
Hi, real quick, we got one question that is, of course, very fair. I think we are now all seeing the PowerPoint, like interface and not just the slides. You know what I mean?
So now can you say the right thing?
So if you now go in presentation mode here.
Yeah. Oh, let me see.
I think in the top right, you can click present in Teams. Maybe that should work. Maybe?
So if I present from here, let's see.
Oh, no, of course, we're not in Teams. Sorry. No, if you just go into
now sharing the more thing.
So the thing is, now we are seeing probably the exact same as you are seeing, like the 2 slides, but like smaller, right? In that.
2 slides. Oh. So you can also be able to see next slide, right?
Yes, exactly.
I don't know because I have double screen. Let me switch to one screen and sharing again. Okay, I get the reason. I think because I was using my second screen. I think now it works, right?
Yes, now it works. Thanks for raising that, Isabel. Thank you.
Pointing out. So we just talk about the so basically for tools tonight, you can use any tools to build the Streamlit dashboard. So here also with 2 recommendations like Cloud Code or Gemini CLI. So I will give like a couple minutes. I think like you can like clone the repos to your local, so you will be able to like to view the data sets, and also there will be 2 like HTMLs. One is for the exercise, the other one is for the solution. So we will be mainly using these 2 documents tonight. So here's the link. I can also copy to the chat.
I also already dropped it in the chat. I think everybody should be able to see it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and also you will be able to see the like exercise HTML, and also there's a solution which should give you like a reference, like a reference answers. And then let's move forward. So here I would like to firstly talk about some like concepts for some basic skills for using a coding agent. So the first thing is like there can be a markdown. So for example, if you use Cloud Code, you can name it as a Cloud Markdown. And of course, if you use Cursor or other like codecs, you can also name the Markdown file in a different way. So for information, Markdown is a format of file, like it's like a text file where you can write the information there. And mainly the Cloud Markdown is a file for describing your project. So basically the idea is with the Cloud Markdown file, every time in your session when you chat with the agent, it will automatically read the Cloud Markdown file. So it's something like the agent always read and always load into its memory. And what normally the Cloud Markdown includes, there will be, like for example, a typical way is like describe what this project is, what is the tech stack, and what the rules you want the agent to remember. For example, what is the goal, what should avoid to do, what files should not editing. So those kind of rules can also be included in the cloud. So basically, it's some like a repeat things you want your agent to remember. And also, if it's like when you are building something big, you can firstly make a plan before build the code. So propose your plan first, and when you approve the plan, you can review it and also make modifications if it's needed. So there is like a workflow, like you write your prompt and agent based on your prompt to make the plan. And if everything looks all right, and then approve the plan, and then you can start the building the product. The next thing is adding adding the rules for your agent. And here you can add like rules that you want your agent always remember. For example, you can specifically state, okay, please do not attach the data. Or also, when adding new dependencies, please always ask, right? Because because in many cases and projects, we want to control some specific things and manage the behaviors of the coding agent. So, for example, if the data is protected, it will not get broke by the coding agent. And also for managing the dependencies, it can also make sure like the dependency packages are in the right version. So, and the thing is I'd like to mention here, for those kind of rules, we call it they usually work because they are still soft rules. So which means the coding agent would obey them in the most cases, but they are not always 100% respect because they are prompt based, and they are also a more advanced way. It can make your rules always be effective in any cases, which is called hooks. And I also will mention that in later steps. So now it comes to the first exercise, the brief, the plan. And in this exercise, so if you look into the GitHub repo that you just cloned, you will find in the exercise folder there are two folders. One is the workshop folder, the other one is the solution folder. And in the workshop folder, please go to the exercise 1, and where you will say, okay, there are some markdown files. You will see here are 3 markdown files, which you will be asked to add new points to the cloud prompt. And also there is a template for the cloud, so you will be able to have your own cloud markdown, and also some requirement cards. So basically the requirement cards here is to keep everyone here building a dashboard has the same structure. So this can make it consistent with the coming exercise. And the goal for this exercise is after exercise 1, you will be able to build the MCP version of the dashboard. And for the exercise later, we will have different iterations, verifications, and improve the outcomes. And for exercise 1, you will have 10 minutes to build on it. And also I will set up a timer here. Let me find the timer here. So let's set up 10 minutes. And after that, we will continue with the following things. And also, if there are any questions, please ask either in the chat box or just open your microphone to ask.
Interestingly, the timer seems stuck. Maybe that's just for me, but
So
Like for me, it just chose 9:39. Ah, now it advanced all of a sudden. Maybe it was my connection.
Out from the web page, the screenshot will not keep continue. That's the reason. So I need to
Interesting.
keep in the page.
Okay. Actually, I didn't know that. Interesting.
And in the room chat, I just share the link for the exercise. So our exercise will be on this HTML page. Also, I would like to mention that after the agent make a plan, and after you approve it, it will automatically start building a dashboard for you. And if you are already finished building a dashboard, you can also ask the agent to run a Streamlit dashboard for you, and it will return your like a URL. And by clicking the link, you will be able to view how the first version of the dashboard looks like. So, so now is the time. So during the last 10 minutes, in the exercise 1, you were able to build like a first version of the dashboard. And however, this dashboard is the first version, and there are still a lot of improvements. And the next, I'm going to introduce some more advanced coding agent skills. You will be able to practice how to use them in a more useless agent in a more advanced way. So in the next part, I'd like to talk about firstly is the scales. So scales is something not only just in coding agent, but also in, for example, if you use any other AI tools, it's also very likely if you're doing some repeat things, you want to save them as a scale. So every time when it comes up with the similar task, similar things, the agent will be able to read the scales descriptions and to use the descriptions, the scales to build the solution. So the scales, you can think about the scales is like someone's, like people's experience, and you save those kind of experience as a scales markdown file, and the agent will be able to read it when you want to use it. And the / command is something you can trigger it by yourself. So for example, you can trigger scales or trigger some certain things by using the / command. So the differences in the scales are automatically be used when the questions is relevant to the scales description. And the / command is something triggered you to decide when to use it. And the third thing is hooks. Hooks is something enforced by the system. So earlier I mentioned like there are soft rules and hard rules. So hooks is basically a kind of hard rules, which means the agent has to do it because it take actions from the terminal. So once the hooks is being installed in your system, it will not be able to change without so it basically is to make sure the agent will not be doing certain things by setting hooks. For example, if we have very important thing you don't want the agent to touch, so the hooks is the best thing for you. And of course, by giving a prompt to say setting the rules, most time the agent will also avoid it. So the control is if you want to like 100% sure, you can also go to setting up the hooks. And let's take a deeper look. So this is a comparison between scales and / commands. So we can say scales, for example, in a dashboard, you can create like a UI scales to teach the agent what kind of UI design you want the dashboard has. And in the exercise, you will also be able to practice like a to add your ideas for how to design a dashboard. For example, you can, in the scales, you can customize what kind of styles you want, what kind of color styles, what kind of layout you want the dashboard has. Or you can also, this is like a UI part, or you can also customize scales for like what kind of KPI, what kind of graphics you want the agent to build. So yeah, it's very based on the specific case. And the slash common is something, if you want to trigger them manually, you can also save the markdown as a slash common. Also, when we use the coding agent, you might know that everything that costs tokens. So token is a unit like to measure how much the agent is cost. So actually, every step you interact with the agent will cost token. So when the agent read your files, read data, read codings, it costs tokens. And when the agent write code or give output, or even when you input your prompt, all of those kind actions will cost tokens. And token-wise, there are also some strategies can save your tokens. So by understanding that, it's good to know in which cases that will be token cost. So for example, by using the cloud markdown, actually for every round, so every time when you send a message to the coding agent, it will automatically read the, let's say, cloud markdown by default. And of course, if it's other agent, it also will read there, like let's say cursor markdown, similar thing. So this is why it's nice to keep the cloud markdown concise. So to only keep the key points, the summary, the project information, instead of having too many details. Because imagine if you have a very, very long cloud markdown, like let's say with 10 pages, and every time your coding agent is read it, there will be, like every time there will be additional cost. And the scales is something it will be used, will cost token only use it. For example, if you design like a UI scales, and when you tell your cloud code, okay, please help me improve the design of the dashboard, then it will automatically trigger the design scales, the UI scales for you. And you will pay the tokens only the scales markdown is reading by the agent. So also it's something about how to manage the memory, because when you use a session and keep the session run for a long time, and there will be more and more like a context there. And actually when the context increasing, if there are some information not strongly relevant to what you are building, that can also reduce the accuracy and the agent performance. So a good approach is like when you working on different phases of the project, you can, when you finish one phase, you can run contact to save the memory information. And also if you switch between independent tasks, you can also choose to clean a specific task. And one tip I'd like to mention is, for example, when you finish one session, right, you can always start a new session, which means the new session don't have any memory. So which means there is no any historical content will cost your tokens. But of course, sometimes we always want the agent to keep smart, keep having the most important information, so it can always keep working without re-giving the prompt, re-give the information. So in this case, one good strategy is to have a memory markdown, which is when you finish your session, you can ask the agent to summarize what has been done, summarize all the key information in a memory markdown. And when you switch to a new session, and in the new session, you can ask it to read your memory markdown. So this is how keep the content work across different sessions. I would also like to recommend two, like let's say, two scales. that is very popular. Many people use that can save your tokens. The one is called Kawima. So it's a scale that can reduce tokens when the agent give output. So sometimes the agent give very, very long output and not all the information are very useful, or maybe they can shorten the sentence. And the Kawima is actually a scale can make the agent talk concise and save your tokens. And one other thing is RTK. RTK actually is a hook, so it's something running on the terminal. So before the agent tool give the output, the hook RTK automatically running and reduce the output content. So because the cost is calculated by also the output content. So if we zip compress the content before it output, it can also save tokens. And if you want to figure out how to have those two, let's say two scales for your agent, you can just go to GitHub and search for the names, and on their GitHub project, you will be able to figure out how to install them for your agent. Next topic is about hooks. Since the hooks has already been mentioned a couple of times, so what is it? So hooks is, you can think about their hard rule. Basically, it's something the agent would never break it. So once you set up the hooks, the agent will always have to do it. So this is like the hooks gives you the chance to make sure it's something you want to protect is always safe. Yeah, and our exercise 2 is about to practice how to set up scales and how to use hooks to protect the data for the dashboard. Since I already see a question in our chat that to demonstrate how to set up scales and hooks. So basically in exercise 2, you will be able to practice how to do this. And of course, if you think this is something very, very new to you, you can also go to the solutions page and to find examples and copy paste the solutions to your coding agent and follow it step by step to see how each interaction is like. And basically in exercise 2, you will be practice write UI scales to improve the UI design of the dashboard. You will also set up hooks to protect the data and also to verify that when you want to break the data, it will be stopped by accessing and editing the data. Let's look at the time for exercise 2. We will have let's say 10 minutes also for this exercise, and I will set up a timer for 10 minutes.
I see in the chat that you, Gabor, asked if you, Felicity, could demonstrate how to set up these skills and hooks. But I think the description is in the exercise. So maybe if everybody can take a shot at it, and then if there are questions during the exercise or after the exercise, then maybe we can discuss together, if that sounds fair. Okay, great. Good to hear.
So basically in the materials in the GitHub Repo for exercise 2, you will see there is a scale template markdown, and there already include some rules for UI these scales, and you can also add some new guidance for the UI to customize the UI towards your personal preference. And in this exercise too, you will also be able to test the hooks that you set up. So you will ask the coding agent to break the data, and in concept it should decline your request because the hooks is protecting the data folder. And now we can move to the next part. Let's think about when we use the coding agent. What time we want to use one agent and in which cases we want to parallelize sub-agents. Imagine if you are working on a very big project and there are some phases, some tasks, they are independent, and you want to work on them parallelized to save time. So if there are segments of your project, they are totally independent, which means they don't affect each other, and they are located in separate folders, in separate files, and also time-wise, you want to be efficient. And in this case, the parallelized sub-agent might be a good option for you. And in some cases, if you want to set up different roles for your project, for example, there can be a like investigator to do some research, find some information, and there are like a agent for doing coding, and there's one other agent doing auditing to review if everything is good, to check the logs to see if the pipeline runs well, for example. In this case, there can be build a multi-agent system. So each agent will be assigned to a specific role, and also there can be an overall agent to come back with different agents to make them work together. So basically, these are the ideas for how to make a sub-agents or let's say multi-agent system instead of one agent. So which direction to choose, I would say it really depends on your project demands. So depends on what's the goal, what you want to achieve. One thing is when building something, you always want to review, check how the things goes, right? Because without the reviewing and check, you might never know if the outcome has a good quality or accuracy. Let's say when building the dashboard, you want to say okay, how the dashboard looks like. Does the figures, graphs really reflect the real data information? Is it easy for users to understand the dashboard, to know how to use them? So in this case, if you want to figure out the quality of the results, you can always set up a checker and reviewer agent. And here, please be mindful that normally the checker and reviewer agent is different from maker agent. So we don't want the maker agent to check the results by itself. So imagine if someone makes some task, finishes the work, and that person are very likely to be very satisfied and very happy about the outcome. And in this case, if you find a third person to check what this person has been built, so it's more likely to find some space to improvement or find some faults. So it's the same for the agent here. So if you want to check and review the results, it's very recommended to use one other agent to review the results, because when it comes to one other agent, it doesn't have the memory, has the historic to know what has been built, what has been done. So it will totally view the results from a new perspective. So in this case, it's more likely to find the gaps that haven't been think about before. So in our next exercise, you will be able to practice the parallelized sub-agents. So in the dashboard that built in the earlier phase, actually it was designed for 4 pages on the dashboard, and each page corresponded to one KPI and one graph. And those pages are independent in the coding files. So which means each page, the code for each dashboard page, they are independent. So it perfectly matched to the requirements for building the sub-agent. So you will build like 4 sub-agents here, and each agent will be responsible for improving a specific page on the dashboard. And after that, you will also create a reviewer agent to review the results, to review the work of the sub-agent, to evaluate their work. Regarding I saw Gabo just the question is the data is real. This is fake data because the real data is confidential, right? So we will never share real data. It's the generated fake data. But it's good enough for practice, because the workshop the goal is to learn how to use coding agent, and the data is here to make sure everyone is building the thing that is comparable with the guidance. I will also set up the time here. So for exercise 3, I would say, because this exercise is actually normally it's quicker. So I will here set up like let's say 7 minutes. And yeah, there are 3 parts of this exercise. Firstly, you will make your agent argue with each other on both sides to decide if it want to go through with a multi-sub agent or just a single agent, and learn to practice with how to build with sub agent and to see how much efficiencies that improves. And in this exercise, for each sub-agent, you are also supposed to say each sub-agent to return a report to tell you like what changes it made, what kind of improves has been made. All right. Let's move to the next part regarding the time. So after the multi-agent system, we will be learn about MCP. So basically, MCP is a concept that you might already heard of it, because MCP is not only for coding agents but for general like AI platforms. They are also like MCPs. So basically, you can think about MCPs. They are a list of tools. They can, by using MCP, you can connect your AI with the external tools, and by having those tools, it can make some specific actions. For example, in next exercise, I will do a live demo, like by you connect the cloud code, the coding agent, with the MCP code. It will automatically open a new like a browser, and the agent will be able to use the MCP, open the browser, and simulate like human behaviors, like click the dashboard, click drop downs, and switch different pages, take screenshot, and send back to cloud code and to review. Okay, how the dashboard looks like, does it function, looks all right, that all the numbers are correct, match to what the original data is. So this is an example for this case. And also there are also many different MCPs. For example, there are MCPs connect to GitHub, so you can manage like let's say like Git comments in a coding agent. And also there are many different MCPs that connect with databases, or maybe connect with Notion to manage your documents, write and creating documents database for you. A lot of different options. So basically, if you want to, when we need an MCP, so when you are using coding agent and you want to achieve some function from a third-party tool, in this case, you might consider MCP. And also, it's very fun if you find not a very no of the MCP can make you satisfied. You can also develop a personalized MCP. It's also very fun. And the next part is about build a loop with verifications. So sometimes when there are different phases of the project, and in each phase there might be like some human checkpoints, but that costs time. And sometimes we also want to build a smoother coding agent experience. In this case, we could write a loop and let the agent to check by itself and find problem and fix again, and then move to the next step. And this is also called as loop engineer. So loop engineering is a recent popular topic. I think since like 1 or 2 months ago, it's getting popular. Basically, it's to make the coding agent continue working and minimize the human intervention. So the typical step is like produce building the code and giving and before that set up some rules, some conditions to verify. If it's passed, it's move on. If it's failed, the agent will fix again and find the problem and fix it. And please be mindful that it's always good to set up the maximum retry steps, because if you build a loop engineering but without a condition to stop, the AI agent can always keep building, keep running. But of course, I mean, if we're looking at the budget, it's always nice to manage like a set up like a maximum trying time. So now we come to a live demo, which is exercise 4. In this exercise, you can choose to build from your side, or I will also do a demo from my side. So you can just watch the demo, or you can follow the demo and build from your side as well. Because in this exercise 4, basically it's require a playwright MCP. And normally if you download it, because it's a big file, so it takes some time. So regarding the time, I will show a live demo from my side about how to conduct the exercise 4. And I would also like to mention that here the playwright MCP is will allow the coding agent to open a browser and view the dashboard there. And if you don't have the playwright MCP, you can also use like a cloud extension for Google. So Google Cloud Extension basically is like where you open a web page on a browser. For example, when you open your dashboard on a browser and you give the prompt to the cloud Google extension, and it will also can automatically like simulate like a human interaction, like simulate like mouse clicks and take screenshots to automatically verify if the dashboard functions well and look all right. So they are the same, very similar tools. And here I would demo using a playwright. Okay. Okay, let me have a test. I will show the demo in my cloud code. I'll firstly give a voice input and then go to so here is the cloud environment. I will directly use the reference dashboard that already in the repo. So basically there is already we can see here, there's already there is a solution folder. Here is already a reference dashboard. So I will use the dashboard here and use the playwright MCP to review the dashboard and find the improvements. So now I'm giving a prompt to Cloud Code. Please refer to the reference dashboard folder and use the dashboard there. And now we are working on the exercise 4. Please use the playwright MCP and run the dashboard and to check if the dashboard works well, and give me a couple of reviews for the dashboard, please. And here I just give a quick prompt to the cloud code, and it will be able to run the dashboard and connect with the MCP and check how the dashboard looks like. And normally it takes some time. So I will show a demo here. And actually for our next exercise, which is exercise 5, this will be something similar. So you can see now the cloud code is reading the files inside this repo and find the right files it will edit it. And you can see now it's starting to run the reference dashboard. And yeah, later it will give a URL, which the browser will be able to view it. Okay, we can see now the server. Okay, you can see now the MCP automatically open a browser, and in this browser, it automatically load the dashboard and doing the verifications. And I didn't do anything from my side. This is totally be handled by the coding agent. And now the cloud code open this browser and look at the dashboard, and it's doing a screenshot. And by returning the screenshot to the cloud code, it will generate a report to evaluate the quality and accuracy of this dashboard. And let's wait for a moment, and later it should be able to also automatically switch among different dashboard pages and take a screenshot for different pages. We can also, yeah, now it automatically turns to second page channels. And also if we go back to the coding agent, we can also monitor what the coding agent is doing. It simulated the browser click and take a screenshot, and then it will, let's say, it will also later move to other pages and to verify. Okay, now it turns to the next page on the third KPI. And of course, like it's also always possible to run a Streamlit manually and do some manual check. And by running the check by an agent is more convenient. Like when an agent is running the dashboard and doing verifications for you, you can also use your time to do something else or doing some other projects. So like it can make the work more efficient. Okay, so now I assume the agent already reviewed all the pages of the dashboard. So basically this is what is. And regarding the time, I would continue with the presentation, and later we can come back to the cloud code to see the report that it made by verifying by checking the dashboard. So moving forward, and of course, just now it was a demo, and you can also like practice this from your side afterwards. And our last part is about evaluation, because we have gone through many different strategies, skills about how to use coding agents. And we always want to know for those kind of basic steps, do they really improve the quality of the results? This is why we also need to doing evaluation. So the idea is using evaluation to have an evaluator to say, to measure how much improvement, how much progress we really made. So this is naturally come to exercise 5. So basically, exercise 5 is just one single task is to set up the rules, like how you want to evaluate your dashboard. So what you care about, for example, if you care about the does all the KPIs make sense? Does all the graphs easy enough for people to understand? So you can also always like customize your rules to evaluate the results that this agent built. Let's see if the results, okay, still running. So looking at time, so now you can start to also working on the exercise 5, and later we can also come back to see if the demo has a results later. And regarding the time, and since this is only one task in exercise 5, I have to say like let's use 5 minutes to work on task 5, since it's just one evaluation. And the time is starting now. And the practice for exercise 5 is to make people to design like what kind of rules they want to have to evaluate the dashboard. And normally running the evaluation takes some time, because during the evaluation part, you are also supposed to connect with the browser and do some automation check, which will take some time. And then also you can always like just keep the agent running and after some time and go back to check results.
Just saw there was a, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Hi, just saw there was a question about if the slides will be available after the session. They are already now available in case anybody missed it, as part of the GitHub repo.
Julia, maybe you can directly share the slide link for the repo, so people with the link they can directly download slides from the GitHub page.
I just shared the link to the PDF in the chat.
Okay, cool. All right. I just had a quick check for the cloud code output. So basically, the agent already finished the verification from the exercise 4, and we can see that here is like a report for what has been evaluated and what could be improved. So based on those kind of reports, we can like doing some iteration, for example, ask the agent to, okay, help me fix everything, or like if you want to have some certain things. And of course, this is also based on the rule that you defined to evaluate, to review the results. So when designing the rules, always make sure it fits to what you want to really achieve by reading the outcomes. So let's do a quick summary about what we learned today. So here is a comparison for different like files. So basically, README is a file normally in the root of the repo has to keep is for like a summary for the project, the structure, and for people how to get started. And Cloud Markdown is something like the agent read every time. Basically, it's a description for the project to introduce what the project is, what are your requirements, and what are the rules for this project. And the memory markdown is also, as mentioned earlier, is like is something you want to keep across different sessions. So when you start a new session, you can give the memory to the new session, so it know what has been built in the previous. So there is a homework for all of you, is to, after you finish the exercise, to tell your agent that please summarize this session into a memory markdown. So in the future, if you want to continue improve this dashboard in a new session, it can read this memory markdown and continue building. In summary, what we learned today, the verify loop. So if you want your agent keep working for longer time, you can always set different verification conditions and doing loop engineering. And also for long-run agents, it's always good to design, have good design and to think in the full picture. So you should understand what, although even if nowadays the agent can do a lot of things for you, it's always good to know what you really want and to understand different phases. So it's also very useful for debugging, for checking. And also it's very important to learn how to write good prompt. If you are not sure how to write a prompt, you can also feel free to ask AI to help you to write a good prompt. Always think from different angles, always to design first before building, and that can help a lot. So basically, a quick summary is like how far do you let it run? So basically, yeah, this is mainly for record. Like if there is not enough time for today for you to finish our exercise, you can always like take it home because our repo is always available. Yeah, I think we are finished. And at last, thank you very much for PyLady Stan organizing this workshop. And I will hand over to Julia for an up.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a really interesting session, especially like, loop engineering. I had heard about it, but I never got a chance to really take a loop at it. But now I can't wait to try it out tomorrow morning. Yeah, thank you very much. We are already almost at the end. Just enough time for me to say thank you to you, Felicity, for giving the workshop, but also to everybody else for joining us today. I hope you all learned something, could take something away. And I would like to take a moment to introduce also our next workshop. It's going to be on the 20th of August. It's going to be an online workshop as well. And the title is going to be Getting Started with Tabular Foundation Models with Tab PFN. I think also a very interesting subject for anybody who hasn't or is maybe not aware. Tabular foundation models are basically what foundation models for language and image are, but for tabular data, basically a pre-trained model on tabular problems so that it can ideally provide predictions for your tabular problem without having to be retrained on your tabular problem. So we're going to be taking a look at that on the 20th of August. And yeah, I hope to see some of you there. Thank you all.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.